If you Google stock images, conference room, this is what appears. And that's where I am for today's show. But we've got a good one. Deebo Samuel. He wasn't here Tuesday. I don't even think he was here last Tuesday, but he is joining the program. We have lots to talk about. He's got a new teammate in the building. What's Chase Young like? Are they vibing? How are they feeling? They obviously got some things to work on and turn around. So we got Deebo on the program. We also have Darius Butler, as usual, friend of the show. He's going to stop by and kick it and go over some NFL topics. We've got some big games on the slate, and one tonight between the Titans and the Steelers. We're going to dig into that, and the very up and Adams debut of Lindsay Rhodes. Let's go. All right, let's do this. We've got a big show. We've got Deebo. We've got you guys in the Up and Adams YouTube chat. I'm loving it. We've got Lindsay Rhodes, who I used to work with at NFL Media. Did you guys know that the reason I wanted to work at NFL Network was Lindsay Rhodes on Total Access? Literally, I would sit there and watch her and love it. And we've got Matthew Hamilton here as well. Matt, can you hear me? Can I hear you? We're doing like an audio check here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I can hear you. This works.
Can you hear me? There you go.
Yeah, we tried this with Gronk last week. So last week I was in a hotel in parts unknown, Miami. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, same thing. I don't know. Now I'm in this conference room. And I do just want to say, and we can make fun of it and all of that, but whether it's for something good and fun or whether it's for something that's not as fun, just the fact that I'm allowed to do this show, not in studio, or that it's not a big deal, is a really big deal. It's a really big deal. And it makes my life a lot easier, and you're a big part of that. Not just you, Goldfarb and Kat for getting me a conference room, and everybody sort of doing their thing in an even bigger way when I have to go do something that's fun or not fun. So I just want to say thanks to FanDuel, thanks to you guys, because you guys absolutely kick ass. Now to move on. I mean, am I in an interrogation room? This is like the room that they put genius babies into and watch them through a two-way mirror to see, like, are you a Mensa child? There's nothing in this room. There's makeup and stuff. How terrifying is this room?
It is pretty scary. I mean, last week you had all the paintings, you had the ocean view. What is that cabinet? What is in that cabinet?
I don't want to
terrifying.
know, because I think that there's like a American Association of Morticians convention downstairs. And so I'm not going to go ahead and look at what might or might not be in that cabinet. But there's a lot of lanyards. There's a lot of people doing their business. I sort of feel like, I mean, is Christian Bale going to walk in and interrogate me about the whereabouts of Harvey Dent? I don't know. That's what I feel like is going to happen.
We need to get you a name tag too for the morticians convention, so you can get down there and mingle.
I walked in so incognito, but it's very like Jason Bourne, or they get, look at this. Are they going to ask me about Treadstone? what can we talk about? I feel like, but I wish they'd bring in a light, because this fluorescent light is doing nothing for me on the Zoom broadcast. Are you excited about tonight's game, Hammer? And we do have Deebo on the show, guys. We've got the great Lindsay Rhodes, with whom without I probably never would have been on Good Morning Football or anything. And we also have Darius Butler, who's probably going to want to talk a little Florida, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. And yes, I am excited about tonight's game. It's a big matchup for both these teams, a lot of playoff implications. I just want to say, I mean, they would definitely not put Ice Spice in a room like that if she was traveling. So
the inside joke.
Did you match her
there
wardrobe with the colors of the room?
People used to compare, I don't know why I was getting compared to Ice Spice, but there would be like polls and weird things in the last like 2 years. And then this one tricked me into dressing as Pat from SNL or Will Ferrell. By the way, want to know what I learned from that experiment from Halloween before we get into this? Mm-hmm. All I really learned was that Kicking and Screaming, not a popular movie. No one's seen it. Nobody recognized it. People thought I was Screech from Saved by the Bell. Hammer. Nobody knows what Kicking and Screaming even is. That's what I learned.
I mean, it's, it has its following. I'll say that. You were not the only Will Ferrell costume from that movie that I saw over Halloween either. But no. The wig definitely had some other connotations there. So yeah.
All right, Hammy, you get out of here. You saw the cool wipe with the cool helmets. That means we need to talk about Thursday Night Football. It is a big one in the AFC, and it is let's not sleep past it. It's an important game. It's the Titans. They're sitting there at 3-4. I've got my notes here. They're going to take on the Steelers, who are my favorite number, Troy Polamalu vibes, 4-3. They're 4-3, guys. I'm going to start with the Steelers side of this one because Kenny Pickett has confirmed he's going to go tonight. We wanted to set like a little Gronk fun. We're going to get to that in a second, but we don't know what to do because there were so many injuries on both sides. He's going to go tonight, even though he was knocked out on Sunday against the Jags with those ribs. And this is big news because him being out there is obviously critical for their success because they cannot lose back-to-back games. Now, I outlined this a couple of weeks ago. The Steelers somehow, miraculously and underreactively, we're not talking about it enough, they, of course, have a winning record despite the fact that they've been struggling not only on offense but on defense as well. Take a look at this. They're ranked 30th right now in both total offense and total defense. And I don't know how sustainable that's going to be if they don't start turning things around quickly. It kind of has to start tonight against this Titans team that has momentum. They are gunning for their spot. And if we flip over to the Tennessee side of things, before I urge you guys and encourage you to go over to FanDuel Sportsbook and have a little fun with the Gronksters, we like to do each and every Thursday, with Tennessee. And we have Taylor Lewan on our show every week. So I always feel like we've got a bit of an inside track on what's going on there. The vibe around him, the vibe around what I know with that team that we tracked and hung out with over in London just a couple of weeks ago, the vibe is very different after Will Levis's 4-touchdown performance in their win over the mustached one, Arthur Smith, who's clearly a robot, on Sunday. So Ryan Tannehill, he's out for this game. Levis is getting, his second straight start. I think Titans fans are pumped. People in the elevator at the hospital I'm in were talking about picking up Will Levis and sticking him in the lineup to go tonight. Let's go. But you got to think the Steelers defense, he's not going to do it. I don't know. Listen, there wasn't a ton of talk about what this team was doing through these 7 weeks. All the talk was yelling about why we're not giving Derrick Henry the ball. Levis sort of added a jolt. He added a spark. He did something to the offense. He got DeAndre Hopkins going again, even though he's kind of banged up. Is DeAndre Hopkins starting? Are you starting him in your lineups, guys? He's got a bit of a toe injury. I hate hearing that for a wide receiver. Either though, this squad is a game out of a playoff spot. And you can't convince me that they are not full of juice. They're ready to go and make something happen. And it sort of reminds me about something that our very own Taylor Lewan told us on one of the Mondays that he was hanging out with us, because this team looked dead. Nobody was talking about them 2-4. I was like, do we even have to ask? Do we have to ask Taylor Lewan just out of manners about the Titans because nobody wants to talk about them? He did say that Vrabel is as good of a coach as any coach in the National Football League. And then he also said this.
How high their ceiling is, I don't know. But I will tell you this, Kay. The last time the Titans were 2-4, it was 2019, and everybody was calling for our heads. We were presumed dead. The Tennessee Titans were dead on the floor. We were done. And what did we do? We went to the AFC Championship. And we almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. So no matter how dead you might think these boys are, they are not dead. And we will keep riding with the Titans all year long.
He said that. Hamilton and I talked about it after, and we're like, okay, we got it. Choo-choo, hype, whatever. He has to do that as a Titans great, as one of their better players. Beyond the 2-4 parallel he's talking about, we should bring this up. During the season that Taylor brought up, that magical 2019 season, the Titans made a change at quarterback during their 7th game of the season. Isn't that just interesting? Isn't that the energetic universe working? That season, that 7th game, Tannehill gets the nod over friend of the show, Marcus Mariota, and that sparked the run that he's talking about. That start on Sunday was Levis getting the nod over Tannehill. That was the Titans' 7th game of the year. So obviously too early, too maybe cute, sure, to say that history is going to repeat itself, but that is very interesting. The jolt, the spark that we're looking for that already seems to have happened after those 4 tutties that Will Levis scored. And by the way, Will Levis has to win me over because I'm not a Levis fan. He didn't come on our show. He's in the doghouse. He's got to work his way out. Levis, you got, I don't know, shout out up in Adams in the post game, make it right. I don't know, come on the show potentially. No, we're of course wishing him luck tonight. And a reminder, guys, Gronk and I are hyping the Titans a little bit, even though I think what the Steelers are doing is special. We do have this, and it's not just a parlay. We kind of, we weren't clicking on those. We were 2 for 2 and 4, I think, on those. We want to try to switch our luck. And as you guys know, I can't lose. I'm calling cry wider shots. I'm crushing the parlay game right now. So Gronk and I have a special odds boost for you over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Just a 2-legger. Will Levis throws one or more touchdown pass. Remember, he just threw 4. And Derrick Henry to rush for 50+ yards. And those odds get boosted from -145 all the way to +120 for you over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Get in on the action. Our group chat was all about it this morning. Gronk and I put it together on yesterday's show. So check it out. Okay. Tweet the show at Up and Adam Show. We've got lots going on here. The Dolphins and the Chiefs in Germany. Very jealous that I'm not there, but life is so good in this conference room with a pitcher of water. It's great. But so here's, we're always obsessed with travel and how things work. The Dolphins landed there ahead of their matchup, and they've already got some practice under their belts. Kansas City, they decide and they opt to, and I can't question it because it's Kansas City. They don't leave till tonight. So there's something to monitor there because we kind of saw what happened with Baltimore. We saw what happened with the Jags, all of that. The Bills leaving a little later. Jet lag, is a thing, especially if you're an old lady like myself. So maybe we should just count the number of veterans on that team over 30, and then we can do the math from there. Regardless, this is the game, when the schedule release comes out and you get so excited, you're circling, you're highlighting this one. Like, it's a very, I'm going to say, like, this is, I don't know, I have to look at the list. Is this the most significant? Yeah, I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say it is without looking at the list. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. This is the most significant London matchup, or not London, international matchup that we've ever had. Okay, the winner of this game takes over the 1 seed at the halfway point in the season with so much to go and things starting to sort of stabilize, figure themselves out. We're seeing what teams are and what they aren't. And whoever wins this owns the head-to-head tiebreaker. And we just know, just the way the NFL works, we know that's going to come into play big time down the stretch. So a lot of pressure on both sides. Mike McDaniel, he was cute. He walked out there and he's like, he had bits. He had bits for that international media scrum. I loved seeing that. And he talked about sort of how every game is really precious. We talk about it at FanDuel all the time. Every game, these games fly. These games have mounting significance. And all of that's just a microscope, an interrogation room for our guy Tua and his Dolphin squad after they start 6-2. Take a listen to McDaniel here.
It's only going to get bigger if you're doing your job the way that you want to. So, you have to get used to, it's not noise because noise has a negative connotation, but there's things, there's attention, there's storylines, there's questions, and, the fact of the matter is people that are successful at a high level in professional sports, that doesn't seem to bother them.
Who's he talking? It's an extra. He's very thoughtful answer. So, and McDaniel goes on to stress sort of the importance of his guys embracing the challenges and sort of the things that come with a growing spotlight on you. So it almost feels like a bit of a challenge. And he's talking to the media and to the international audience, and he's doing bits and he's cute and whatever. And he's wants to show his new AF1s, whatever. This is like a bit of a challenge for his guys because, to be honest, I love these Dolphins. I have very full confidence in Tua, but that is something that we haven't seen out of them yet this year. This is a huge stage, and the facts are the facts, guys. The Dolphins' 6 wins, they're against teams with losing records. Do not spit your I'm not being anti-Dolphins there. That's just the truth. The 2 losses, you can't argue that, Dolphins fans. And I love it. They did come against the Bills and the Eagles. They did come in games that they didn't play very well in against tougher opponents. So some people, sure, they're going to discredit their success and pick it apart. The truth is we don't know. That's premature. That's unfair. The reality is that it's going to gain serious legs if Miami has another disappointing showing, and that happens against the defending Super Bowl champion, Tyreek Hill-less Chiefs, this weekend in Germany. So a win, on the other hand, would completely toss it aside. And I think people are going to sort of finally embrace them as a legit contender at AFC. I'm saying that, but I don't really believe it as I say it. No, they won't. They'll still find reasons because of Tua to say that he won't be able to do it, not even in that division. Then Aaron Rodgers will come back and people will somehow weirdly believe in them even less. But you can't lose this one because people are just going to keep taking it away from you. And I don't want this team to gain any negative traction. Not to mention the fact that I would just love Tua to shut everybody up this weekend. All right, we want to get into some Bengals here. We're going to do it maybe after the break. I'm going to take a break. I know we have Lindsay. We got to get to the Bengals side of things. Can't not. So let's take a break here. This is Up and Adams coming to you from the interrogation room somewhere in Chicago. We've got Deebo Samuel on the show, guys. We've got Darius Butler popping by. Go play our parlay. It's boosted, baby. I want to do the Bengals, though. I'm not going to not do the Bengals. So bring it in, the Bengals, and then bring Lindsay in. Yeah, I got to get to, I know it's 14 after, but I can't, we didn't talk about it yesterday with Gronk. Got to get Bengals out there. No, because we're already doing it. I want to do it both days. Yeah. It's just such a big game. We haven't touched it. It's just what it is. Hammer, are you around? Is Hammer around?
Yes, I am. Hello.
I'm glad I could hear you.
Yeah. It's a very strong A block.
I'm out of my damn mind. I don't even know what I just said. I just went out there like what is that? What's the movie Billy Madison? Where he just like blacks out.
Oh, where he like rambles on stage for like.
Is it Old School? No. Oh yeah, where they have like the. Oh yeah, it's not the one where he says you're the dumbest answer. Like I become stupid. That's Billy Madison.
That's Billy Madison.
When they do the thing where like, was it Will Ferrell? He like blacks out answering something in Old School, and he's like, "What did I do? What happened? I don't remember anything." That was my line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was fantastic.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, great. We could do you up in a break. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Bills, Bengals, Lindsay.
Have you opened the cabinet yet?
Oh, thank you for that. Love, 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 love. Sunday night. What a fun game. I don't know why we didn't go to this game. Bengals and Bills. Guys, what is back there? What if it's a dartboard? Probably a TV. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome back. We got Deebo Samuel, Darius Butler, Lindsay Rhodes making her debut on the Up and Adams show. But we can't not talk about what will be the biggest game of the week, and that I cannot believe that I avoided somehow getting tickets to, making plans for, traveling to. It's Bengals Bills. Both quarterbacks spoke to the media yesterday, and they're at different stages in their prep right now, which is interesting. I wanted to hit Josh Allen's side quickly. He had the shoulder injury against the Giants, of course. He re-injures it against Tampa last Thursday, and now almost a week later, our boy, cover boy, Madden boy, Danny Ricciardo's best friend, he's not practicing in full. Here's Josh after practice.
Talking with the training staff and just having a plan with Nate Bresky, just obviously a lot of moving parts, but didn't do too much today, just taking it easy and just making sure that, you know, I'm putting myself in best position for Sunday and making sure that I'm not sore. So didn't throw a lot today, and hopefully back tomorrow we'll be on the field and like nothing happened.
That was about the most Daniel Jones answer I've ever gotten out of Josh Allen. I don't know who asked him. I don't know what it was. The dude. It was Big Lebowski. It was a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. Like very vague, very downplaying. But if you think that this injury is not affecting Josh Allen, y'all have not been paying attention. He didn't look right against the Giants. He did not look right against the Patriots. And last week, I want you to take a look. He started looking better against Tampa until he then unfortunately re-injured it. So the Bills, they were taking care of business. They're slicing through the Bucs defense. We were all watching together. They put up these 17 points in the first half. But after coming out of the locker room at halftime, the offense only scored once more. That's a weird split. They punted, 4 times to end the game, and they nearly let the Bucs steal it away. So the fact that he's gotten extra rest after Thursday Night Football and is still not practicing, as this echoes in this empty room, hello, I'm concerned. And while I know Josh is going to gut it out, he's going to play. But you still got to monitor it closely, especially for the stretch, especially with the little margin of error as I hit myself in the mouth in the AFC. Okay. You know what else I just realized? I didn't do my eyebrows today, and that's why I look that much weirder. I forgot to. Anyway, as for Joe Burrow in this matchup, Bengals, Bills, he too spoke after practice, and he's like, I'm the best ever. I'm the healthiest I've felt all year. He's juiced about the Bengals playing their, they did their thing against the Niners, obviously, and it was their best game against one of the best teams, so they're feeling themselves. But if you take a listen right here, he's really aware of how important this game is in the big picture.
Yeah, season plays out how it plays out. We'd love to be 7-0. That's not where we're at. We just played our best game of the year, and we're going to build on it and go from there. Yeah, we're going to have to beat teams like this if we want to get to where we're going to get to. It's a great team with a great quarterback and a really good defense. A team that obviously we played in the playoffs last year, and we have a chance to play again. So it's going to be a fun one.
So if I keep pumping up Will Levis and he does it again and the Steelers lose tonight on Thursday Night Football and the Bengals win on Sunday Night Football over the Bills, it likely vaults the Bengals into a playoff spot, which is where they need to be. They're on the outside looking in, which is where I like them. And then that takes care of Buffalo's then on the outside looking in. A little switcherooski there, a little Freaky Friday action. I don't hate it. Of course, there's a lot of season left in the way, guys. I've never doubted the Bengals would get themselves back there. They're my Super Bowl pick for the season. So it's amazing to think that halfway through the season, which is crazy that we're there anyway, they're not buried and they started 1-3. I don't know how they do it. They beat the Niners, they beat them in all 3 phases of the game. And I think it's going to start clicking even more this weekend. Now, I'm very excited. This is quite a treat here from my interrogation room in Chicago. I love our next guest. I cannot believe it has taken us so long to get her on the show. Lindsay Rhodes, who, of course, somebody who I've always wanted to. Lindsay, I love you. I don't know what to say. I just always wanted to be you.
Oh, stop it. You're the best. I'm so excited to be here. I don't think that have we ever been on the air together?
No,
ever? It's
so funny. Marissa McBride, my producer, was putting the segment together and she's like, you guys have worked together. And I go, no. We'd be like high five across at the Super Bowl. And it would just, they would never dare put us together. That would have been too much.
Yep. I'm so excited. Huge fan, Kay. Excited to be on the show. Excited for all your success. And I'm happy to be here.
I want to hear about football. Yes, let's do that. So, obviously we knew each other, NFL Media. You have Fantasy Dirt going on SiriusXM and Fantasy Sports Radio.
I'm here for the tax exemption meeting that is taking place in that ballroom. I'm hoping you can tell me about all my tax exemptions that I'm allowed to do this year.
Yes. If you'd like to buy a life insurance policy, I've got those over here and tube socks over here. I can be sure to help you out. I forgot to do my eyebrows. I have my, Lindsay knows. It's just here's the makeup bag. It's just
something's missing. I feel like I look naked. Why is it? It's that. Yes.
Yeah.
I've done that.
The lack of lighting. Anyway, Lindsay, we're going to talk about some fantasy stuff, but okay. Tell me about the show. Tell me about what you've got going on.
So SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio weekdays with Michael Fabiano. We do a show called Fantasy Dirt where we're on from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about all of the day's fantasy news and going through the week. And so, I'm really heavy into the fantasy space right now with my 15 teams that I set lineups for. That's not counting all of the best ball stuff. Yeah. I know. Okay. It's like every year I'm kind of adding more and more and more. And you sort of have to in order to discuss drafts smartly, right? You just want to do all the drafts. So I'm collecting drafts during draft season. I'll do all the drafts. Sure. You want me to in? I'm in. Because you're collecting all of this information and then you can talk smartly about where you can get people and where you think the value is. And then you realize you have 15 teams that you have to manage for the regular season, and waivers sucks. Tuesdays.
I gotta say, this news does not surprise me at all, because knowing what I know, and we never got to work together, but it was, can't you prepare more like Lindsay? Like you are the most prepared. Stop. You are the most prepared broadcaster. So the fact that you're like running algorithms and like high risk trades and like charts and stuff like on fantasy drafts doesn't surprise me at all. But that's why you have the good information. Before we get to it, my house was under attack by a scorpion. I understand that you've got mice. What is going on to our respective living places?
Mouse. I just want to be specific. We have mouse, like singular. It's not like an infestation here, but what, you guys, I was doing dishes in the kitchen. And so I'm like, I had been cooking. I think I stepped on it. I think I stepped on it with my bare feet. And I didn't realize that I stepped on it. I thought it was just like a crumb on the ground or whatever. And I didn't even think to look back for a second because I didn't actually step on the body. But I was like, why is that there? How did it get there? We've just been hanging out downstairs in the kitchen, and there's all of a sudden a dead mouse hanging out in the middle of like a majorly trafficked walkway. I don't know. I thought it was a baby possum for half the night. And people now are like, you don't know anything about animals, because I thought it was playing dead. Because when I went to move at Kay, it like shook. It moved. And that freaked me out quite a bit.
No,
so I thought it was a possum for that reason. It's not a possum. It's a mouse.
We're moving. That's it. For sale sign, my house. We're out. I don't know where we're going to go.
That was my old house. I've moved since then.
Okay. Okay. I don't know that. Congrats. Amazing. Welcome to our housewarming party.
I have not moved.
I thought you did. I was like, what? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk football. Let's talk tonight. I gave my thoughts a little bit. Steelers, they face the Titans. It's a huge, really important one in the AFC, of course. Will Levis, the Rookster, getting the QB1 start. We saw the performance. What does this mean? Do you think the kid can do it again?
Well, that's the big question. I think what we saw from him in that game was what we kind of, not to downplay it, I did not see that coming. I think most people did not see that coming. In talking to draft analysts, and I'm not a quarterback evaluator myself, but like I talked to a lot of people that are, and they were less high on him. And the notes that I was getting about him when he came out for the draft felt the most to me like, I'm not going to bet on that. So I was not expecting big things from him. And then when he came out and did that, I was aghast, just like everybody else. And so, yes, I'm, picking him up off the waiver wire in fantasy. Like, why not put him on my bench? Let's see how this goes. The thing is, though, when you go back and look at the tape, what he did was what we knew he could do well, which is like, we knew he had a rocket for an arm. We knew he could make those throws. His deep ball percentage was 27.6 in that game. Like a quarter of the throws that he actually threw were deep balls, which is bonkers. So I think the thing that's notable is that the Titans put him in a position, I think, to succeed. They put him in a position where they set him up to do the things that he could do well. They gave the ball to Derrick Henry quite a bit. For fantasy purposes, I actually like that. I like Will Levis in at quarterback because I don't think that they're going to start throwing the ball like crazy. I think they'll try and limit the passing volume, and that will help out Derrick Henry's value. I also think that the fact that they give him a lot of like short throws, and then they called the long ball really opportune times so that he could complete that. I love that for D-Hop, by the way, like him with his Monkey D. Lufo contested catch radius. So he can go get the ball. Let's do that. Let's get the fantasy value back for D-Hop. But so I think it'll come down to whether they continue to call the game. It'll also, we're going to see teams that now have seen this tape and are like, okay, so he can do the things that we knew he could do well. Let's purposefully put him in a position to force him to do the things that we didn't think he could do well when he was coming out. And we'll see if he can check some of those boxes as well.
I hope so. I mean, I like what you're saying about the run game. D-Hop a little banged up, but me and Gronk have a parlay, and I just said one or more touchdowns. He just had 4 against Atlanta. He was feeling himself. You can get the ball to D-Hop for 1 touchdown at least with that catch radius that you're talking about. Okay, all things fantasy, so we're going to keep this going. We're going to talk some players who are at their fantasy football fork in the roads. Get it? Fork in the roads. We're going to talk about, little halfway point check-in, okay? And you're the patrol cop. Who's been the biggest surprise for you in fantasy so far this year?
So the obvious answers here, I think, are like Puka Nacua and Devon Achane, who are obviously the two that outplayed their ADP the most. But in their case, we didn't really know what to expect. So can we really be surprised when what we didn't know what to expect actually is good? Anyway, that's why I'm going with a known commodity. In his 10th year in the National Football League, on his second team, a guy we thought was probably a descending asset, it is Adam Thielen of the Carolina Panthers. Okay, this is a guy who has spent most of his career as a number 2, and number 2 whose team I think thought that they could do better than. then drafted a guy as his replacement that they thought was going to be an upgrade. Jordan Addison crushing it also, making him expendable. He goes to Carolina, takes over as their number one by default. Rookie quarterback, relatively bad offense. Like, who would have thought that he'd produce like this in that situation? He has more points per game than Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb.
Wow.
He is wide receiver 7 with 20 points per game. He's having the best fantasy season that he's ever have. And though they talked about going out and getting a wide receiver 1 to come in and help Bryce Young's development at the deadline, the fact that they did not actually get that guy leads me to believe that this production is going to continue because they're tied to his usage, which is a very high target share and a very high air yard share. And by the way, he is the perfect example, Kay, of why we pay attention in fantasy to the preseason, because there were clues in the preseason usage, target share, air yard share specifically, when he was in with the starters or when the starters were playing, he was their guy. And so at the end of fantasy draft season, we could kind of pivot and say, like, he's going really late, and I think he might actually be a huge part of their offense. And so prioritize him in that range.
Okay, we're going to try. We only have time for one more, but we're going to try to make it 2. So I want to get who is the fantasy player through the first half of the season. Everyone wanted to succeed, but in reality, like, you're pulling your hair out week in, week out because he's not performing. You don't know why.
Okay. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard here. And it's a guy that we drafted, we thought might give us 20 points a game. Like, we were fully expecting him to be a high-end running back. RB6, ADP, early second round, hasn't gotten there yet on the high end. There have been more low-end games than we'd like at that ADP, but not so many that you know what you're getting and you can just move on and put him on your bench. Like, Najee Harris was RB10 in fantasy drafts. He's like RB39 in fantasy production, but at this point now you know what you're getting from him. His volume has started to match his efficiency. His fantasy production matches both. So you can just move on. Pollard's volume is elite. He's top 5 in expected fantasy points at the position based on his usage. So you can't bench him. You have to ride it out. Despite his middle of the road rushing yards over expectation, you have no idea what you're going to get from him on a week-to-week basis, which is kind of the Cowboys in a nutshell. Is it not?
No, it is. I mean, I'm literally going to start taking notes here. I do want to ask you one more. Okay. Do you want to go Mr. Congeniality, or do you want to know, like, who should be? Let's help people out. Who's the guy everybody wants right now? Like, who everybody's begging their commissioner, hey, let this go through, let the trade request happen. Who's going to stay hot? I'm going Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is a guy, he's been really good all year long. The problem is that he wasn't on the field that much early on, right? So now that Saleh has taken the handcuffs off a couple of weeks ago, he's been really, really good. 20 plus points in all of those games since week 5, when they finally decided he was healthy enough to play all the time. He's averaging just under 2 yards over expectation per attempt on the season. So every time he gets the ball, they scan the situation and they say, here's what you should get in this situation. He's getting almost 2 yards more than what the situation calls for. That's the highest number for a running back by a wide margin, also leads in yards per carry. And he's doing this on a bad offense, right? So I think he's kind of script proof, game script proof, because even if they're upside down, then they're going to just throw him the ball. He's the type of asset that can give you fantasy production under any circumstance the rest of the way, I think. So don't sell Breece Hall. I would also just add, I would go to the Bijan Robinson owner in my league and say, Arthur Smith's going to make this a headache. Arthur Smith, he's no good. It isn't. I want him because I think, week 15, 16, 17, Panthers, Colts, Bears. That's all I need to know, okay? The worst, second worst, and 7th worst defenses against running backs. Please go get Bijan from whoever may have him. And thank you, Lindsay. And guys, listen to Lindsay. You guys can listen to her on Fantasy Sports Radio, Fantasy Dirt. It's weekdays from 1 to 3 Eastern on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Lindsay, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This has been fun, actually, doing some television with you. You're the best. I hope mouses don't travel in pairs. Ugh. Oh, we've got Deebo Samuel on the show. Darius Butler joining the program. Deebo, long time no see. All right. That's great. Yeah, go for it.
Another one, that's all. Oh, it feels so good to be 6-2. We don't lose at the crib. 1. They rolled me off. No! Oh, I'm sorry.
I saw a different mindset today.
It took a lot of to go out there and through all the adversity.
Backs against the wall.
We just kept going.
This team is built of the right stuff.
We won before. We know how to win.
And let's go get another one. 6-2.
That's how the Bengals play football. Like that. Who is? Who is he gonna beat the Bengals? Jack, what time is it? It's only 3:05. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3.
You ain't on the team, but do you like Deebo? Deebo. Man, I'm big. I'm big. I'm bad. I'm bad.
Deebo Samuel, it's a foot race. My goodness.
I won't quit. Keep on grinding.
And he makes the catch.
Man, I'm big.
Boy, oh boy, do I miss seeing Deebo highlights every week. We got to wait a little bit, but he's back with us right now. Deebo, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you feeling? Talk to me.
I'm feeling really good right now.
Okay, you got to smile. I see Tyshawn's not here. Where's my friend Tyshawn?
I'm actually watching him on the camera sleep so he don't wake up.
Okay,
So he's sleeping.
I won't start screaming about anything that's gone on in the NFL the past couple of weeks.
He's in the back.
Did he dress up for Halloween? What was he?
He was Blippi. He's a big.
What is that? What's Blippi?
Wow, I don't know.
What is that? I'm gonna Google it right now. What is it? Blippi?
Yeah.
Tell me about Blippi.
It's a big YouTuber who's like teaches kids stuff, and he's a big dinosaur fan. So Blippi do stuff of like dinosaurs and stuff, and he wanted to be Blippi, so he was the cutest Blippi ever.
It's a cute fit. Did he have the orange bow tie? I'm seeing this right now. I bet this Blippi guy is worth like $100 million. I've never even heard of him. Unbelievable. Blippi learns about fruits and vegetables.
Man, I think I got.
Did you dress up?
Let's see. Here he is, right here.
Let's see. Oh, that's too cute, Deebo. And adorable. Does he like fruits and vegetables like Blippi does?
He really a real picky eater. The things that you would think a baby his age to eat, he doesn't eat. Like he like chips and salsa and like dumplings and the total stuff that you'll never think a baby his age would be eating. Yeah.
I actually like that menu. That sounds great. You know
he
who
like
wants
fries.
to know?
He's not too much of a chicken tender guy.
Do you know who likes to eat quarterbacks?
Chase Young.
Yeah.
I knew you was going with that. I knew you was going with that.
You know what we got to talk about. I mean, this is a big addition to the D-line. Talk to me about what the building is like. How is it?
I mean, it is, it's just crazy. All the guys that we got on the D-line, and just to add him and, such an impact on his career that he done had so far, just for him to be a part of the team is kind of, amazing. Just, we already got good guys out there on the D-line right now. Just to add him, it's just like an extra little up that I think we need.
Have you met him? Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, I actually talked to him. I actually called him like after I got the news, since I was out there on the field working out. I was like, bro, you ready to come out here? He's like, man, I was just on the massage table and just get a call and I'm going to the Niners. He was like, shit, I'm ready to go.
I bet he's super excited and he gets to reunite with his former teammate, Nick Bosa. I mean, what's his reaction
BRB,
going to
son's
be?
waking up. Be right back. Give me a second.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we just lost Deebo. I guess we're going to have to either tap dance, which I can do, or Hamilton, who I see is on this. Like, I should see the Zoom call. Hamilton's down here. And we can bring him on. We got to ask him. Oh, Hammer's not on. Oh, I thought I literally see Hammer in this box. I don't know why. I've never seen Hammer on the Zoom call before, but Hammer, don't pick your nose or do anything crazy. Because I see you guys. We have Darius Butler on the show. What should I do? Should I hit you guys with some sleepers? I'm happy to do that. I would. Oh, don't be grumpy with me. I didn't wake you up. Did you wake up, Tyshawn?
Say hey.
Hi. Did you get good Halloween candy? Any sugar? Oh my gosh, he's so cute, Deebo. I can't. He's so cute. Nick Bosa, how excited is he going to be about this edition?
I actually haven't talked to Nick about it yet. But Nick is pretty the same and like mellow for us, whatever it is in life, whatever he's talking about. So he's just like, yeah, man, I think it's a great pick, man. Let's just get to work.
Okay, I think that's because he's changed since the Skims deal. When you saw that deal come through, what were your thoughts?
I really didn't too much pay no mind. I was just like, and then after the game, it was just like so blown up, and I was like, all right, you're an underwear model now. Look at this guy, Nick, man.
How did this go down in the locker room for real?
Nobody was really talking about it.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, I'm glad he's like, he hasn't changed to become super famous, right, Tyshawn?
You see his face? He got 10 personalities.
I want to ask you a little bit about Jimmy Garoppolo, because we're talking trade deadline. We're talking about y'all adding Chase Young and how exciting that is, and that's amazing. But there's a lot about Jimmy being benched for Aiden O'Connell. What did you make of this game that I'm sure you watched between him and Devontae Adams and some of those missteps?
Actually didn't even watch it, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Was chilling in the house playing with this guy, but it ain't too much I could say about somebody that's not part of our team no more. So I'm really not going to speak on it.
Okay, so if you had an issue with him, did he come to you ever and talk about it? Does he have that, like, to go to Devontae and sort of work it out, or what do we need to know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Jimmy definitely has that ability. So I'm pretty sure that he's trying to communicate the best way he can with, with how the play has been, however that's been. But I mean, you see it all in the media that Devontae is unhappy and this, that, and third. But we only control the things that we can control over here.
And how's it going? Because obviously a hot start to the season, some adversity lately. Has people want to say the locker room's changed, it's changed, they don't have it. There's some doubt that's creeping in. How are you guys handling that?
I don't think it changed at all. As we look at ourselves and the coaches come down on us hard, and we got to be even harder on ourselves for is like losing 3 straight. That's just like not our culture, and that's not like what we do. So we kind of had a meeting. Everybody had a meeting on like Tuesday. Was like, yo, like I know everybody's tired and fatigued. We were going for so long. It was good that we get a bye like in the middle of the season so we can come back fresh and ready to go, because we know what it takes, and we know the next step that it's going to take for us to get where we want to be.
Is it mostly health? Like if you had to submit an answer on what is the biggest piece of adversity that y'all are facing right now, what is it?
We just got to get off the field and stay on the field. Simple as that.
And you personally, health-wise, any update? Everybody wants to know.
I am ready to go.
Yay! Tyshawn, yay!
Say yay!
Oh, he's like, are you covering your ears, Tyshawn? You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
No.
You want to? Oh, he's so
no,
cute. I can't. I would never go to work.
You know,
That's amazing. Okay, we're just gonna. I see update. We're just gonna do like little updates here on. You know how Brock's doing. Obviously,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like he's felt right since that hard hit during that Browns game. He was put in concussion protocol after the Vikings game. You know, Bengals didn't exactly handle him with kid gloves last week. In a loss for you guys that you really would have liked to bring home a win. How's he feeling right now?
One thing I like about Brock, you know, with the guys that we have in our locker room, we do a great job of keeping his confidence up. And one thing that stood out to me about Brock after we lost to the Bengals, that, you know, he take full responsibility in his actions, and he know he got to play well. So he, you know what I'm saying, before we broke the huddle in the locker room, he's like, yo, guys, like, this was on me. Like, I got to be better. And this is that and the third. So that's one thing that we like about Brock is, like, he take full responsibility of his actions, and he knows what he's capable of, and he want to be the, you know, he want to play the best of his ability every week.
Do you think he should have played last week?
I think so. I think he was pretty good after watching practices and all that stuff. I thought Brock was doing a pretty good job.
Well, I love hearing that. We had Taylor Lewan came on our show this last week, and he sort of said that somebody, he wouldn't say who, that somebody said that Brock isn't the guy, that he doesn't. Let's take a look at it, actually. Do we have it?
I have, from a reliable source that I'm not going to tell you, told me back in January, said this to me back in January, Brock Purdy's not the guy. Maybe the boy starts playing a whole lot better, and I hope he does. But I was just told that he has aliens around him, and that's why he looks so good. But once there's enough film out there on him, people are going to know how to beat him. That's what I've been told, and that's what's happened the last 3 weeks.
What do you think?
Let him talk.
It seems like doubters are coming out more and more, but that's not the way to handle y'all.
The better you are as a player, the more doubters and haters you're going to have.
Well, that's certainly, yeah, that's a good thing to say. Let him talk. Okay, so we're just going to let him talk. So we're not going to fire back on that. Now, you do have a bye week. You mentioned it, and it is perfect. It's the perfect time for you to rest up, you to hang out with Tyshawn, trick or treat, do all those things. Not that he's trick or treating, he's too little. How does Shanahan treat bye weeks? How do you handle it? Is he like a rest and reset guy, or is he like a
he's
checking in with you? Are you sending him selfies of your body during the bye week too?
He's definitely a rest and repeat type of guy. If I had to guess, Cabo, Cali, I mean, damn, Kyle is actually probably in Cabo right now, just chilling, just taking a break because we was done Tuesday, and he just told everybody to get off their feet, get some rest, and just come back ready to work.
I love that. Eagles play the Cowboys this Sunday. Deebo, you looking forward to watching that one?
Oh yeah, I'm tuning in. You know, I've been talking to my brother AJ, man. You know, he's super excited and he's ready to go, like he's been for the past since the season started.
What is going? So he's crushing it. Those numbers are crazy.
This is not nothing new for me. I didn't see AJ do this at Ole Miss, and you know, since he's been in the league. So it's not like a shocking to me that the level of play that he's playing at right now.
Is it MVP level? Should he be the MVP, Deebo?
Hey man, hey, if I ain't out there, I get AJ all the time, any day.
AJ should be the MVP. Are you hearing that? Deebo is saying that. I mean, yeah.
Oh my God, man, he's balling right now. He's playing at a real high level.
Amazing. Okay, we're gonna let you go. We know you got to hang out with you, or should we do the Deebo download? Let me ask them. Sorry, I'm not in my studio. Okay, we're gonna show you some stuff. You and Tyshawn. It's the Deebo download. We do it every time we have you on. Flavor Flav sung the national anthem apparently at the Milwaukee Bucks game this weekend. I never thought I would say that sentence. Take a listen to this.
That is Flavor Flav 100%.
Deebo, should they bring him back to ever sing again? Should Flavor Flav ever sing ever again?
That's Flavor Flav. Like, that's just his personality. It's not going to change. You don't think? Like, since I was a kid, he had his own TV show. Like, he was always the same guy.
It was like I Love New York or something like that. I forget what the show was called with the love show that he was on. Tyshawn's yawning. You wanted to go back to bed. If you had to pick one person to sing the national anthem at a home game, who would you pick?
As a person? Like as a player, or?
What do you mean, like not Blippi? Who you got? Who would you want to sing the national anthem?
Tell him let you sing it.
Me?
Tell him let my son sing it.
Okay. Yeah, Ty should sing it. Not me. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This is what else has happened since we last saw you. Phillies, Kenny Gainwell responded to a fan on Instagram at halftime after losing a fumble versus Washington, and Nick Sirianni was not happy. Do you blame him for clapping back at fans, or is it the best thing to do to ignore?
The best thing to do is not even respond.
Don't even respond.
And one, I don't know how. I don't know how you can respond to somebody in the middle of a football game. It got to be like his manager or something.
Somebody else is responding. That's good intel there. Okay, and then Max Crosby bodied Jamison Williams. We don't want to show defensive players doing well to Deebo, but he bodies Jamison Williams on this play on Monday night. Do we have this? And where do you rank him as one of the scariest defenders in the NFL?
Hey, Max Crosby, one of them guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the energy, like the passion, and like I've been, I think we came out together. The passion that he has for the game, and we practiced against the Raiders this summer, and so like what you see in the game is what he do every day at practice, and it's just like, it's not too much shocking because he's been doing it at a high level for a long time.
I love that. All right, I'm going to sing the national anthem. I learned about Blippi today. We learned you're healthy. We learned that you're happy. You're going to rest and relax, like Shanahan said to do during the bye week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Deebo. Thanks, Tyshawn. We'll be back. Bye. We've got Darius Butler. Darius Butler, who's never brought one of his daughters on the show. Darius Butler never has introduced me to any of his daughters. And look at me and Deebo. Look at that. We'll be back. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, to my left. Great. Oh, you want some sleepers? You're thirsty for some sleepers? Send that you up text. Go ahead for it, guys. There are lots of teams on the bye. There's 4 of them. So here we go. Up first, I'm going to submit Derek Carr. Why? Because I told y'all Mark Davis loved him, and that's how this whole thing spiraled, and Josh McDaniels lost his job. I'm telling you that's the truth. But after a rough start to the year, our guy Derek Carr has put up not 1, not 2, but 3 straight 300-yard showings. He's got the Bears defense. You know the drill. Next, how about Panthers running back Chuba Hubbard? Okay, they've got the Colts defense. We know about these defenses already. We know how generous they are, and they have given up the most points to running backs over the last 5 weeks. Finally, friend of the show, we know him, we love him, and you should too, at least for Week 9 fantasy purposes, Nico Collins. He's got the struggling Bucks secondary. Bucks can't figure their secondary out. I don't know why, but he's coming off a pretty quiet week. He does get volume. That matters, and the Bucks are just like, hey, here's some fantasy points. Here we go. The Starbucks has the holiday cups already. It's a holiday season. Here, we're being very generous and gift wrapping fantasy points. There you have it. 3 sleepers for Week 9. No. No. What? How much time do we have? Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Give me 1 second to re-rack this here. Contributor. Yeah, let's do it. Can I go? All right, it's that time of the week. Listen, Darius Butler, 9-year NFL veteran, ESPN's NFL matchup. He's breaking things down on McAfee. I get smarter every time I watch the McAfee show with everything that you're doing up there. I got to ask you, do you think that Deebo brings on his son as a prop so he doesn't have to answer hard questions?
Wait, Kay, just blink 3 times if you need help. Like, where the hell are you right now? You got the earplugs plugged in, no EMF like Aaron Rodgers. I see you. But I don't know.
Like,
he's probably, just spending that quality time on the off day with the little one. I like that.
Yeah. I was telling Hamilton, I feel like Christian Bale as Batman's going to come and like slam me against the wall and ask me where Harvey Dent is. I'm in some like Jason Bourne interrogation room. Here are some bunker vibes in Chicago. I'm glad you like it. Listen, we got to talk about what I like. And this is Germany game that I don't, You should definitely be there. I don't know why you're not there.
I know, I should.
But we're here on FanDuel TV, and Chiefs and Dolphins do it in Germany. Mahomes struggled in that loss to the Broncos. Sean Payton finally got one. Are you chalking the Chiefs' loss up to weather, a fluke, the flu, or do you have legit concerns?
No excuses, no explanations in this business. That's a Tony Dungy line. And we know Patrick Mahomes is great. He just struggled. And Vance Joseph and that Denver defense, they've been, everybody's been coming at their head, especially after giving up 70 points against those Dolphins. But they locked in and they gave, they just gave Patrick Mahomes a rough go at it. He obviously had the flu. Travis Kelce was bottled up. Somebody else outside of Travis Kelce is going to have to step up and be a legit receiver for Patrick Mahomes down after down. But with that defense, that quarterback, that head coach, they'll be just fine down the stretch for sure. But I can't wait for this game. This game, I mean, Dolphins still looking for, that impressive win, that signature win. They've kind of beat up on some bad teams so far this year. Big teams, good teams. They got to have a good game. Getting Jalen Ramsey back in that secondary should help. So I'm excited about this early morning matchup we got between the Chiefs and the Dolphins.
Those DBs are going to have their hands full with Tyreek Hill, who some of them know well, and then Jalen Waddle, of course. That's crazy. Jalen hopefully makes a big impact. I like that you mentioned that. Then there's the Bills-Bengals rematch of last season's playoffs. The Bills, they've got some major injuries. Tre'Davious White's out. They traded with the Packers for Rasul Douglas, of course. What type of player are the Bills getting in him? And will it be enough to slow Joe Burrow, who looks better than ever right now?
Yeah, they've had some issues with at corner, and obviously they want to mix in some man-to-man coverage. So getting a veteran like Rasul Douglas, he's been around, especially before going to the Packers, but kind of found his home there. Can play, can jump the ball, can make plays on the ball, can play some off man, can even get up in your face. And he's a good teammate. I know he's gotten scrappy with Josh Allen in the past, but he's a great locker room guy from what I've heard. And, had some issues with Kaiir Elam, getting him on the field. He's been a healthy scratch for a lot of this year, which is weird. Been a first-round pick out there in Buffalo. Obviously, you lose Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano, Daquan Jones, some big-time playmakers on that defense. But getting Rasul Douglas at this point in the season was good for them. You want to be buyers at this point in the, around the trade line. Got a good player, needed him. So it'd be good, especially going against, a loaded, wide receiver room like the Bengals have over there.
We've got 1 minute left, and I just heard Deebo call A.J. Brown the MVP of the National Football League. It's Dallas, the Dallas secondary. No Trayvon Diggs, but I hear you like his replacement.
I do. I love Deron Bland. He was on the show last year a few times to shut down City. Deron Bland, as a rookie last year, had 4 or 5 picks. Finds a way to get his hands on the ball. 3 pick sixes already this year. Just a tremendous ball hawk. And then obviously on the other side, you got the OG, former defensive player of the year was Stephon Gilmore, and then Jordan Lewis kind of playing in that slot. So a talented secondary, got talented safeties. I think they can at least try to slow him down, but A.J. Brown is on the MVP pace right behind Tyreek Hill, in my opinion. I would still give Tyreek Hill the nod, but A.J. Brown is right there. He's an absolute animal. 6 games down the road? I think 125 plus.
That's some Florida bias showing, but we'll allow it because we love Darius Butler. We'll see you next week.